Hi, this is John with theinfosheets.com. I'm going to talk about this little kitchen unit that I made for the back of my minivan. The minivan in question here is a 2007 Dodge Caravan. It has the stow and go seating, so all of the seats other than the driver's, or the two front seats rather, fit into the floor. So this goes basically in the back compartment. And the reason why we do this, and there's so many videos of people building them, is because this plus the bed section fills your compartment. So the bed is actually what works best now is what's called a trifold mattress or a trifold sofa, and it basically folds. The full size is exactly the dimension that's left when this is in the back of the van. It's actually 75 inches when both front seats are put electrically all the way forward, and that's the same depth as the mattress. So it works out very well, and that's actually what this is designed for. Let's give you dimensions first of all. The width here is 45, the depth here is 19, and the height is 24. Since I'm using half-inch plywood, the inside dimensions are an inch less in any dimension. Let me show you the products that I have inside of my van and why we have it the way it is. So first off, I'm using gravity water. This is 5-gallon Coleman jug, and it comes with a spigot, and you can turn it on and you get really good water flow. There's no reason to build a 12-volt water system with a sink and everything, because those sinks are tiny. How could you ever wash a dish in them? And this is 17.5 inches, so this is much better to use these, and these are bus trays. And you can just dump it in the grass when you're done with it. So you don't need to have a waste tank either. Bus trays are actually what this is designed for. And you see I have 3 across the top. One that goes underneath this one, which goes underneath the water jug. And another one that's here as storage as well. So bus trays are my drawers, and they're also my sink. I have a butane stove, which fits over here. I have it out to demonstrate for you. Let's take a look here. Basically, I like these because you just turn the knob. The butane fits in there much better than a propane stove. When you're done with it, if you know how they work, that disengages the butane, and so it's safe to keep it in there. You can also keep an extra jug inside of one of your drawers if you want to. I have a steel case Coleman cooler. And these are a really nice retro cooler, and they're also a smaller sized cooler, and they fit nicely inside of the box. You'll notice that I have lights on, and that's because I have one of these things called a camping battery. Camping batteries, this is the smallest one I could find, was by NextPow. It's basically 9 inches deep, and it's removable, and it's 3-inch square in the front with a 9-inch depth. So it doesn't go all the way back, it only goes to about here, but that gives me room for my electronics. So basically this little wire that I bought goes to a fuse over to my main control panel, which I'm going to have ability to run a fan or something through the evening if I want, through the 12-volt outlets, as well as the main power on and off. So basically it goes from the battery to a fuse to the main power on and off. So that turns everything off. And then it also has a USB 3.0 couple outlets there. From there it splits both directions, and it goes over to my individual light switches. But also it was originally going straight to these recessed lights, but they were sucking power like crazy. I don't think they're really well designed. They say if you're going to run them with a PWM, which is why I bought this little PWM. It actually comes in a little circuit, and then you actually have to buy a little circuit box. But the PWM comes with this knob, and actually could work as the on-off switch. So maybe you didn't need that switch, but you probably would if you were going to sleep inside. I also have a map light which pivots and has its own switch, and that works very well. In the evening I actually see a lot of light here. Let me put everything away and talk a little bit more. Okay, so let me finish a couple other construction details. So this is all 1/2-inch plywood. We use glue blocks. To create these glue blocks, I had a 1x8 by I think about 8 feet, and I just ran 1-inch increments. Actually, I used the width to set the table saw, and I used that to cut so they'd be square. But I made so many of them, and there's one at both tops. There's a couple down here at the bottom, so you notice these are curved, and I didn't have room to fit one up here. And then I have them over here. Basically, it strengthened the entire box. Other details are I used bolts for this little desk hinge. One of the things about this is people will say, well, 1/2 inch is kind of weak, but realize it's also getting backed by the tailgate. So that tailgate serves as an extra brace. So it gives it a little bit more strength. When I was trying to figure out the hinge idea, continuous hinge mounted surface mount like this works best for strength. When you do it into the end grain, it's very weak, even if you try some alternate attachments. Because of the way it lifts, when a hinge is surface mount, we have a gap. So this actually isn't the same height as the back piece, but most things are completely the same. This piece, because there's lapped on both sides, is the same as the interior shelves. So basically 18-inch width for this and all the interior shelves, and the sides and the bottom. So basically 18-inch width made me a whole box and shelves. So the front and back are just the back is, it's 45 by the 24-inch height, and but that's the only dimension that's exterior dimensioned. Everything else is basically, this is a little shorter because it's overlapped. Actually, the sides are the same as the back in height. They're 24 inches as well. All right, I think I showed you everything that I could possibly show you without building it for you. Let me show you from the inside and show you basically how it looks through the rearview mirror window. This stow and go and all these electronics are so handy for these vans, but see how it's the entire window? It really isn't going to block any vision. Once I have my trifold mattress in there, that actually becomes somewhat of the headboard, and I'll still be able to access my lights and plug things in at night without sucking down my car battery. So all in all, it's pretty well designed, and I don't think there could be a better system. The box itself, as much as they say how easy they are to build, it's probably a couple months for me before I finished it. But I think it all worked out well, and I hope I helped you and maybe your design if you want to make this minivan conversion. Some people are calling them stealth RVs because you can park in a regular parking spot. Certainly need to get some kind of window covers if you're going to do that. But that's for another video. This has been John with theinfosheets.com. I hope you liked my video.